Following the Thanksgiving holiday, health officials continue to issue dire warnings as hospitalizations for COVID-19 surge across Indiana. Brock Turner reports on the changes the state is making to handle the pandemic.
Only 20% of the state's ICU beds are available, and more Hoosiers are hospitalized and dying from COVID-19 than at any point in the pandemic. Data from the COVID Tracking Project shows Indiana has more new positive cases per 1 million people than any other state in the Midwest. That has health officials worried about the state's capacity to care for sick patients. But it's also beginning to affect Indiana's ability to trace each new positive case.
The increase in cases also has placed more pressure on the contact tracing system. We recognize that we needed to make some changes to our contact tracing process because with more cases, interviews were taking much longer and we're seeing more cases lost to follow-up. To help ease this bottleneck, we've shortened our script for interviews of positive cases.
The real strain, however, could occur in the coming weeks. While INDOT says there were declines in Thanksgiving travel, many Hoosiers still gathered. That has officials concerned that COVID-19 related numbers will continue to rise. Despite those alarms, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb has resisted calls to implement more restrictions on businesses.
This has a lot to do with we, the people, as individuals, caring for others and taking steps and recognizing that any short-term sacrifice or inconvenience is tenfold worth it for the long-term gain.
Some argue the governor is handcuffed by a lack of federal support. Earlier this week, Indiana Senator Mike Braun reiterated his support for an additional economic stimulus package and said he's been in contact with Holcomb.
A lot of the economy is back on its feet, but there are certain sectors and many small businesses, part of what I mentioned, and their employees that still need targeted help. And I think there's a decent chance that that might happen.
At issue, though, is the amount included in the package. Even though a proposal with some bipartisan support was presented earlier this week, passage before the first of the year is highly unlikely. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner.